It's that time of day, or is it that time of week? Both. We hit it on the target. I'm John Zidar, and Taylor's behind the scenes in there. Hello, Taylor.
Hello, I'm here.
Yeah, Taylor was right up to the bell trading, so we're
Yeah,
changing
it was
gears on
fun.
Taylor right now. Welcome, everybody. You are at On Top and Hot's live streaming event, which we do every Thursday, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, as you well know, because you're here. And if you're coming in on the recording, now you know when we do it. What we do here is talk about hot penny stocks. I'm hoping this is requests. We're taking requests from you guys, and Taylor's going over the charts. I'm going over the information, and you guys do bring us some good ones. You probably realized I did a video yesterday on RDGL. That was one brought to us last week and maybe the week before. Well, it really caught my mind. I was thinking about that, and I did a video on it. It's amazing how much energy came out on Twitter when I brought that video out. And they brought a lot of extra information out I didn't know. This device that's being approved for the injection into tumors, so you don't have to go through chemotherapy. You just put it inside the tumor and it works out rather than the other way around. They're expecting the approval on the device this quarter, and they've been waiting for this for a couple years. So it's like I made the video right at the right time. Everybody is excited. So you guys bring me stocks that we may not have seen and may have seen, and bad or good, I don't choose. It's first come, first served. So if you put your ticker in anytime after Bior, that's about the cutoff line, Bior, that's 8 tickers. That'll probably take us an hour and a half. I'm not going to be able to get to it, folks. I put up a holder for this video earlier so that everyone knows I'm going to do it, and people drop their tickers in early and doing first come, first served and not choosing what I'm going to look at. By the time 4 o'clock gets here, we've got all the tickers, which means I've also had a chance to do all the due diligence. So that's going to help us out a lot. Now, keep in mind, we're doing general coverage here. We're not doing deep dives. I do try to go as deep as I can with the time I'm given to look as many stocks as I got to look at before 4 o'clock. So I may share something with you you've never seen. That's the dream. But I may miss something that I need to share. So always follow behind me doing your own due diligence. I don't guarantee to cover everything, as you well know. So let's dive on into this. I do want to give a shout out to all of you that showed up here. Velmore Velmore was actually knocking on the door. Where's the video? I got a ticker I want to drop. Get that video up. I dropped it. Man, she was right there. She was quick as lightning. I appreciate Velmore. She's been here from the start. And then we've got Brian. Brian, thank you. I appreciate you being here. Mark Ryan, nice to have you too. I dropped you a link down below about that AI that snuck into the internet over the weekend and surprised a lot of people by its abilities and then disappeared. I don't have any more information than that. It's in the article as much as I know, and Dad'll explain it to you. MBS, always nice to have you here, buddy. I follow you all over the place. It's good to see your comments everywhere I go. You've definitely got stuff to talk about. RDGL, I like that one. AITX. We would cover that in this show, but I think I'm going to cover that this weekend. I think that'll be my next video I do. Chilo Stocks, great to have you here. Can you cover Phil tomorrow? Well, we don't have a live stream tomorrow, and I've already got a ticker chosen, ATIX. But hey, let me put that up on the screen. Folks are going to have a shareholders meeting tomorrow. I don't know what they're voting on. It's always important to see what they're voting on. It could be a reverse split. That's your heads up to be watching a stock or maybe getting out, because most of these reverse splits are getting approved. Who else we got here? Underdog. And we got your ticker in this time, buddy. Thanks for getting here earlier. Oh, we got T-Rick in the bunch. Love you, T-Rick. T-Rick's always got some good jiving conversation going. I like to stick around with T-Rick. He's never boring. Brian Todorick, you're the last ticker we're going to look at. Bior. We got you in there. Anybody past him? Thebes. Sorry, Thebes. We're not going to get the Eyeless or Lyrics. Folks, you may want to look at these. We have lots of tickers brought to us that Taylor and I look at afterwards. It's like, oh, we should have covered that one. It's like, yeah, that was a good stock too. I think I'm pretty much getting everybody there. Oh, Jerome Horace came in late, but on time. If you can, look at XBP. Well, we're not going to have time to look at it today, but maybe somebody else can, and I will look at it. Like I said, we always take a look at these. David Alette, you're right on time, 4 o'clock. Kashira, I didn't think you were going to make it. You're normally early. And Sveg Smith, oh, you're normally early too. I am glad to see all of you here. Now that I've got the hellos and appreciations out of the way, and I don't make light of it, it's very important to me. Let's dive into those stocks. So first one we're going to take a look at. There we go. That's not it, though. That was the last one I got set up. First one we're going to look at. I hope I haven't lost my highlights. Boy, that'll be a bummer. During this show, we may talk about this subject right here. I'm not going to say that word because they have a bot on YouTube that hears everything I say and they write subtitles. And when I say that word, they think I'm endorsing it. And whether, well, it's not legal yet. So, but even cigarettes are legal. Alcohol is legal, but you can't talk about it. So I'm going to call this twigs. Anywhere in the show, if we're talking about that word right there, I'm talking about twigs. I'm going to say twigs. So this is Sundial Inc. They used to be Sundial. Did they actually break their name down to just initials now? This is SNDL. This is a twig company. She finished today at $2.25, and she was up a little over 1.33%. She is a hot penny stock on the major exchange, which means you don't have to pay for any of your transactions. You can trade it all the time the market's open, which is pre-market, after-market as well. And you've got a lot more rules. You've got a lot more money. You've got a lot more volume on the major exchange. It's just safer and probably more profitable to play the major exchange penny stocks than the OTC. I'm not saying don't play the OTC. I'm just saying risk is a big factor in these decisions. So what did I find about this company? Geez, I did lose all my highlights here. All right. Let's see. I guess I'll start right here. This is the news that just came out. Today, was it? Yes, today. I had a bunch of stuff highlighted here, but I remember what's going on. Sunstream USA posed to acquire Twig assets from Sundial. Now, Sundial has an affiliate program called Sunstream's Opportunities, not to be confused with Sunstream USA 1 and Sunstreams USA 2. Those are the other companies. So the Sunstream USAs are grabbing equity from this company under the Sunstream Opportunities subsidiary. Now, that subsidiary covers two other companies, Surterra Holdings, which is now doing business as Parallel, and Green Peak Industries, now doing business as SkyMint. These are, well, one of them is an MSO, multi-state operators. I think they're working in 6 different states right now. Now, there's a couple things I want to point out here that are very important. The deal isn't a sell-off. It's a joint venture of some sort. There's a lot of information here. The bottom line is that Sundial is going to get some of the money from this new venture. Sundial likes to invest their money. They are an operating twig company. They are also operating in alcohol and liquor, not just twigs. And they're going to make money off of this joint venture. And they've got a lot of these ventures going. But this is the part that really caught my attention. Based on pro forma first quarter 2024 revenue, that means before the deal closes, what everybody has if you bring it all together. Pro forma includes the Parallel and SkyMint businesses. Sunstream's USA majority equity interest would rank it among the top 10 MSOs. Once this deal is complete, it would be ranked as one of the top 10 MSOs in America. And that's huge, folks. MSOs are doing $30 billion worth of business in America. So to be in the top 10 means you're making some serious buku bucks. But this is the part that really stands out. In the states in which operations are conducted, Sunstream USA, through its equity ownership position, is anticipated to reach more than 60 million customers with an aggregate market. This is for them, not the market they're tapping into. For them, sales of $5 billion. These companies are doing hundreds of millions of dollars a quarter. A couple of these cannabis companies are doing over $1 billion a year. It's not unbelievable. They could do $1 billion a year being a top 10 MSO. That's the sort of company you want to look at. Now, this company, Sundial, is only going to get a portion of that, but that is one of the big pieces of news that just came out today. They also had another deal April 1st of this year. Sundial, let's call it selling, but it was a reassignment because they worked deals of 4 Dutch Love stores to Nova. The deal consists of $8 million worth of Nova shares coming over to Sundial. And that's how they do it. They just keep gathering more assets in other companies. So Sundial is basically a holdings company, a joint venture, a partnership company with a lot of other companies doing a lot of things. And I got one more window here. Let's see. Going back to general information. All right, so let's see what we got for Sundial. Her relative volume, let's refresh this page. The day is over now. Oh, she lost about 50% of her volume, dropping from 9 million shares a day over the last 30 days down to 4.5 million. Share structure for the company. Not bad for a cannabis company. Twig company. We're at about 250,000 shares. Don't know what the float is. Could be anything up to 250,000. Now, I haven't mentioned this. Hopefully you've been keeping up with the news. The DEA yesterday, or was it the day before, said yes, they are going to reschedule Twigs. It is going to be done. Did they give us a date? No, they didn't give us a date. Does that mean it's probably going to take months and months? I don't think so. The Senate held a meeting the very next day. They submitted, and it looks like they're going to pass a bill to legalize Twigs. All the aspects of it, the social equity, how they're going to tax the companies, starting them off at 3% and working them up to 25%. What I was reading is like, oh boy, in the long run, they're going to get what they want out of this, all the money. So it is going to happen here real soon, folks. And when it does, Twig companies are going to run. Primarily the American ones because they have the most benefit, but it is going to benefit the world because we'll have exports. We'll be able to sell across the country. The companies are going to get deductions, which is going to change their books by 1/3. They'll be able to deduct 1/3 expense and save that money now and put it on the side of profit. That's going to change the bottom line in all these companies. And when all these companies start running, how many? Oh, I don't know. There's 300-400 cannabis companies on the OTC that are American. And that's where all the American companies are. If they touch the plant, you can't go on the major exchange if you touch the plant and are American. If you're Canadian, Israeli, African, yes, you can go on the major exchanges because it's legal in your country. It's not here. So they are going to probably uplist. But here's my point. The cannabis, the twig sector has so many companies that when this news comes out that it has been changed, it's been legalized, whatever you want to call it, all these companies are going to run. There's going to be buyers for every single level, 0003 all the way up to $20. There's going to be buyers for every level. Every stock, every cannabis stock is going to start to move up. I promise you. And when that happens, volume is going to pick up. People are going to notice the volume. Cannabis investors are going to come back in because it's been taking way too long. They've just stepped out of the game. There's just nothing to do now until the laws change. When the volume goes up from 4 billion, which is where we're at now, we were at 70 billion before COVID a day, 70 billion. We're down to 4 billion right now. If we can kick that up to 8, 12 billion, OTC investors will start coming back in, not just the twig investors. Then we're going to have more volume come in. This could ignite the OTC. This could be the catalyst we need. We need something big. It isn't going to be one company. We got to get a herd, a bunch of lemmings running so that everybody starts running for the cliff together. This could be it, folks. Boy, I got excited about that. Okay, let's take a look at the market cap. We're at about 583 million here. Financials. Well, look at that, folks. 4 years ago, they were at a mere $37 million. Mere. We know it's millions because we got to add 3 zeros to any of these numbers. Kicked it up to 46 million in 2021. During COVID and coming out of it, they blasted off. Look at this. Over 1,000% increase, more than 10 times. She jumped to 520 million, $500 million. And now we're at 690 million. And we're getting to keep some profit here. It's an expensive industry, folks. This is 144 million they're bringing in. Quarterlies, well, maybe that's because they're on the NASDAQ. Not all companies do quarterlies. Take a look at that balance sheet. Lots of money in the bank, 163 million. Lots of assets, 1.1 billion. Total liabilities, chump change, 200,000. Oh, sorry about that. I got to quit that. So we end up with just about $1,919 million in positive stockholder equity. This company has something to give us. Our shares actually have value here. Disclosures, I would have probably covered this if there was anything here to cover. I think these are all about what I just covered in the news.
Was there anything from March, like 22nd, or that last week of March, give or
Let's
take?
see what we got over here. March 22nd, which would be the threes. Boy, this is slow to load, but then I've got like 600 pages open here. March 23rd, you said?
22nd.
22nd. Schumer circulates petition for safer banking. It was just general news on the market, so it was probably market sentiment.
Or
We've had a lot.
26th, 27th.
27th. They're
April
talking about
3rd.
rescheduling. The GOP and senators are talking about rescheduling. None of this is about the company. You did have something on the 1st of April. That's where they got the Dutch Love stores with Nova. But I've been watching all the kind of twig market, and it's sentiment. They're all moving. Not serious, but they're all coming up right now. You can tell season is changing right now. I believe that covers everything we got here except the chart. And I'm interested to see what SNDL looks like.
Okay. Let's see, make sure I got the right one. All right. So I marked off the 52-week low and high, which was $1.25. And the 52-week high was 267, which was just 4 weeks ago on April 1st.
Okay.
From the end of January up until March, we had like some consolidation here between 131 and 140, just kind of chilling. And then after this earnings report, which by the way was horrific, as you can see this number here, a surprise of negative 3,400%, not good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
But they
amazing.
must have announced something big, because the very next day we had an increase from we had an open of 142 up to 174. These are regular candles too, by the way. So, and then we just kind of stepped up. Look at this pattern here with the doji, like
Yeah.
three bar play right here. This looks real nice.
There's
Then
some
it
due
just
diligence
continued to
for you
rise,
folks. Look
but
up the 3-bar play. There's a lot of money to be made. And all
one
you
right
got to do
there.
is with the 3 bars, it makes all that chart easy.
Yeah. The only thing that's concerning now is if you can, I'm sure everyone that charts even a little bit can see this. Looks like a potential start of a cup and handle.
It's looking good. I don't know if it's going to make the cup and handle.
It could. It maybe not. Maybe not.
Right. But I like that, like doji, that last bar there. Semi doji right there in the center.
Yeah.
That doesn't look too bad. And I do like the big bar before it.
Yeah,
Your
this
oscillators look
was
strong
absolutely
too.
beautiful. I mean, this told you all you need to know. If you just saw this, I mean, look how far it went after that. I mean, we started at 142 and ended up in well over $2, 250, 267, whatever. And so here's the 4-hour. Let me move to Heikinashi. So here's what the 4-hour looks like. You can see this kind of curve down, but then over here it looks like kind of like a bull flag we got going on. So that's
I get a good
interesting.
feeling from that chart. That looks like a continuation. It
Mhm.
looks like she's ready right now. She's took her dip and she's ready to start going again. And if she breaks that high, that'll give her some confidence. She may bounce
Yeah.
around on it, but she gets on top of that high, we could see another shoot.
Would really like to see that. And you can see all these golden crosses here and
Yeah.
everything's lined up. We got the
And of
920,
course,
150, and 200. Mhm.
even in the twig sector, there's a huge catalyst coming. And it doesn't matter if it's a Canadian company or not. It doesn't matter if it's an American company. All the cannabis companies are going to run. I guarantee you, people aren't going to make the distinction between a Canadian company and an American company. If it's on the charts and it's up there moving, I think this is getting ready to run. So if you like Sundial, this may be the last opportunity. Looks like she is right there at the decision point right now, bouncing off that 50.
Yeah, this is the 1 hour. I was just seeing what was going on. I mean, I think this was just like quite a huge pullback because of, this big jump.
What's the 5-minute look like on that? We got to
Okay.
get on to the next stock, but I do want to see where she's heading now. Right?
Kind of had some sideways action today.
Yeah, she climbed out of that heavy dip. She's found herself
that
a
was
middle ground here, and I would expect once she levels off, after a big wave, it takes a bunch of waves to level it off, and then
And all this was pre-market the other day, by the way, this big old fall. I'm not sure.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's that one.
Well, all
Got it
righty.
for that. All
I
right.
am ready for number 2. This one, I do believe this came from Velmore. Velmore wanted to talk about this one, and I'm glad she brought this up. Ticker IMHC. The name really isn't Imperialist Holdings. The name is actually Turn On Green. TOG is what people refer this to. IMHC finished today at $0.015, which is pretty much where she started. I'll explain. And she was down 12% today. And she's on the pink tier, the lowest tier on the OTC, the riskiest tier because you don't get any validated information down here. You're taking the management's word for everything. So if you're going to do due diligence on a pink that you want to hang on to because you think it's going to go higher and higher, first thing you need to study is management. See if they're good. See if they know what they're doing. If they have experience, see if they've got any crap in their records in the past. Have they screwed up before? You need to know this stuff because you're taking their word for everything. The only validated information we get is a transfer agent verified and a verified profile, which is done by an unbiased third party, the OTC markets. We've got one here. We don't have the other. Now, I'm not saying it's a deal breaker, but I'm saying be aware of that. So what it is about this company. All right. Let's start this off from where it should be started off at. First off, we are actually looking at the stock and we are also looking at the warrant because these were given out as dividends here just recently. This piece of news came out February 6th of this year. Alt Alliance announced the dividend of shares of Turn On Green and Gigatronics to its stockholders. And then it goes on to say the company had announced a spinoff of its securities related to Imperialist Holdings, at the time referred to as Turn On Green. The company will announce the record dates and payments of those. Well, they did. That came out on the 16th of April. Alt Alliance announces a final distribution of TOG securities valued at 1.5 cents roughly for each share of Alt Alliance common stock. So they were doing a spin out of True Green onto the Imperialist ticker, and anybody who had shares in Alt was going to get dividends. Mine appeared. I just got them, I think it was last week. And it's like, where the heck did these warrants and these shares come from? And I had to do some research. They don't give you any information. It's just like, whoop, there they are. So these came. Now, I don't understand this first part. I'll read it to you, but I don't get it. In the initial distribution, Alt Alliance stockholders received 40 shares of Turn On Green common stock and warrants to purchase 40 more shares of Turn On Green. And in the second distribution, stockholders of the company received 15 TOG securities for each share of common stock of the company they owned. It's like, I did the math. I'm looking at my shares. This doesn't fit in anywhere. This fits in. Each stockholder of the company will receive approximately 0.8 of a share. Not a full share, almost a full share for every share of Alt that you own. And that's what I got, just a little less of this new company compared to Alt. The prices of the stock is at 1.5 cents. The price of the warrants is worth 0015. So if you got any free shares, free warrants that just popped up with this ticker on it, that's where they came from. You owned Alt at some time. You didn't even have to keep the Alt. You would have gotten these even after you sold your Alt. You would have still qualified for the dividend and gotten this. Now, I was interested in this company and I knew this part of it. I think most of us know this part. They work with EV chargers. And this is a great business. I mean, we need them all over the world. the more EV we go, the more of these ugly things we need all over the place. But they do more. And I do believe, now right now they're making money with these, but I do believe this is the bigger part of their business. Digital power. This is an entirely different division. And what this is doing is working on the electrical components of any device that needs electricity. They are working in the medical industry, the manufacturing, military, aerospace, telecommunications. I mean, they're not just saying we can go there, they are working there. Any piece of equipment, they can help with their stuff. They've got lots of other little sites that have sales going on for what they sell. They've got cool systems. They got DigiKey. These are all part of this company. You can see right there, digital power, digital power. These are the kind of parts they're selling. They've got all kinds of these parts, and they've got lots of business that they're doing. But you don't see a lot of information or news about any of this stuff. It's the true green they keep talking about. So just to let you know, there's more going on with this company than just the true green electric. So what's the relative volume around the company today? Well, we're not going to see it looking at the warrants. Warrants, you don't even know how many you're trading. If you buy and sell warrants, you'll never know how many there are. There is no float on warrants. I mean, you can if you go jumping into the filings and you can figure it out. They do tell you in there. So looking at the shares, wow, big increase in shares. It jumped from under 500,000 to 5.2 million. You're looking at 10 times, 1,000% increase there. Share structure, got a lot of authorized shares, 2 billion they could put on the market. They've got about 1/10 of them on the market, about 200 million. We don't know what the float is. It could be somewhere around 100 million. This was what they had November of 2023. If there haven't been any changes since then, but I wouldn't count on it, but it could be somewhere in that region. Financials for the company. Well, look, we got money on the books here. Yes, this goes up to 2023. Now, I don't know what effect the new company has had. Obviously, none of this shows the new deal. This is all where they were standing. They were up to 5.3, 5.5 million, dropped down to 4.2 million. Profits dropped heavy too, down to 895,000 out of that 4.2 million. Ups and downs here. Year ago, 1.5 million. End of 2023, 1.4. And a lot of jumping around in the center. Ended that 2023 quarter with just a little over 500,000, about 33%. That's not a bad profit margin. That's getting better. Balance sheet, not much money in the bank, $21,000. Total assets, that's better, 4.7 million. And total liabilities, oh, what happened here? Okay, we got 4.7 assets, 9.1. I'm doing my math here, doing subtraction. We should be at about -5, -4.3 million. Look at that number. We're at -29.5 million. They did some new math in here somewhere. Can't figure it out here. You'd have to go into the financials, but that's the number. We're holding $29.5 million in deficit in this company. Disclosures. If I saw something, I'd have probably already pulled it out, but let's just see here. Change of bylaws on that one. Let's see. 4.2. These are normally interesting. Describe the prospectus. Oh, it looks like they are thinking about putting more warrants and shares on the market. When was this? Previously, this was voted on a long time ago. Let's see what the date is on that. 4/23. They say they voted on that back in July of last year. So they may be putting, I think it was like 24 million more shares and warrants on the market. And if they say 24 million shares and 24 million warrants, you might as well think of that as 48 million shares, because somewhere down the road, maybe not in your trading time on that stock, 3-5 years, those warrants turn into shares. They, like caterpillars into butterflies, they all become shares. It's just down the road. But immediately, that's another 24 million that we've got to throw in the float here. Do believe that covers everything here. Hopefully that answers the questions of what's going on with this company. I don't know if they're going to change the name or not. I don't know if it's going to True Green or going to stay in Perilous Holdings, but that's the deal. Let's take a look at the chart for IMHC and maybe even a peekaboo at the warrant.
I was gonna say, do you want me to look at the W or no? Because
Well, let's
this
start with the stock.
okay, because this is the warrant. There's nothing to look at. This is it.
Yeah, right. That's what I was thinking, that these should
Okay.
be short charts because
Give me
basically
just
this is spun out.
all right. We must have looked at this before because I had this marked off. I did not do that because I had just turned it on and I'm like, okay.
Hmm.
So this is the daily chart I'm looking at with yeah, Heikenashis are on. Oh, I always do that. Okay. So let's see. We got a low, there's a lot of wicks I've noticed, but that
Yeah.
was last year. So looked like the last time we looked at this, the high was around 3 cents. We're now hovering at around like 1.5 cents. But it does look like it's trying to break out. We've got a lot more volume over the last few days since Tuesday. Large amount of volume. Let's look at the 4 hour because these wicks are pretty long.
Wicked wicks.
Yeah, so it looks like what the heck? Okay. Sorry, I'm all over the place today. I have not traded in so long, so I was just busy all day, and usually I'm just sitting here waiting for this. So it looks like
That's good. That's
we've
good.
been since the end of March, we have higher highs, higher highs, higher highs, higher highs, and we're hitting this resistance now up here at around like 2 cents. It looks like so. That's not too bad. We had some consolidation
It's
here for a
trying to
little
break the
bit.
200. You got some
We
golden
did break the
crosses coming
200.
up.
We're right on top of it, in fact.
Yeah, look at
Right
that
on
50
top of
coming
it.
underneath. A good strong golden cross.
Yep, we got one here. Looks like another one's about to happen here, and then if we can get all these up here, we'll be all lined up. I mean, it has potential for breaking out. It looks like it's trying to, especially with all this volume and these long wicks. That's indicative of it's
Yeah,
trying to
well,
break
it
out.
had a heck of an increase in volume, which tells you
Mm-hmm.
something right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and you can see this was a major resistance from back here, and that was at the beginning of the year. Look at all this hitting the 2 cent mark over and over. So this 2 cents is very, very critical. Looks like, according to this chart, anyway. Let's see what the 1 hour looked like. Um, Lots of wicks, kind of barcodey looking, kind of sideways. But look at this. We got some support here on this 200
Could you call that an
this
upside
time,
down head and shoulders?
several times. Inverse head and shoulders.
Yeah,
A little bit. It could, yeah. Could
a
be an
double
inverse
tap.
head and shoulder. You're talking about this right here?
Yep, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But she
Yep,
is on
could
an
be.
uptrend. She's bouncing with some volatility, which, hey, that's okay. Volatility, it means you got people out in there fighting, and that's how the price rises. You need some volatility.
Mm-hmm.
And she's bouncing hard off that 200 going uphill. So it's about catching the right point in the bounce. You want to get your
Yeah,
best price.
and some of these candles are going from 1 cent to 1.5 cents plus. I mean, that's what
50%
50%
jump.
gain.
Yeah.
50% gain right there in just a matter of like a day, the same day, or a couple of days. Now, this resistance here at 2 cents is really critical. I'd like to see this go above that, and maybe we can
I bet you would.
switch directions. So it has been stair stepping up. It looks like it's trying to break out. So it's a nice one to watch. I like the warrant one too, even though it doesn't have as much history on it. But
Right. Yeah. And
yeah, looks nice.
the
This is a
warrants
good
are
one to watch.
tradable just like stock, folks. You don't have to use them to buy new shares. All right, that's my cue. So we are looking now at est. Can you see me okay?
Yep.
All right, my other computer, which tells me what's going on, isn't there. It's not working.
Yeah, I saw it disappear.
Oh, okay then. Thanks for the heads up. So we are looking at ticker ILST, International Star. Seems to me I looked at this a long time ago. And a lot of these pinks, if you looked at it a long time ago, it's probably doing something different now. And a lot of them have had operational changes. This is on the pink, bottom tier, got all the validated information you're going to get. That's as good as we get. She was at 0027 today, up just about 12.5%, which is bouncing 0003 up. So she was at 0024 It's a climb. Up is better than down. So what have we got here? Well, we've got another company that is working with twigs, but they're working with twigs in a very interesting way. International Star is a unique nexus between the entertainment industry and the burgeoning twig sector. L's strategic focus is on celebrity partnerships and intellectual properties has led to the development and management of distinctive brands. These brands include Ice Cube's Good Day and Friday Twig lines, Kevin Smith Snuggums and Berserkers and Snoochie Boochie offerings. This is fun to read. They also have Jay and Silent Bob accessories, as well as major licensing collaborations with Paramount's Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke, the Trailer Park Boys. Folks, you know, these are name brand companies, you know, these are big collaborations they got going on here. And you're going to see in the news, we'll just do that right now. They're doing more. Now, let's see, I may be able to get it here. International Star operates through its wholly owned subsidiary, Budding Equity, which they acquired last year, and its 20% ownership in B Studios, LLC, which they then bought just about a month ago, something like that. They're combining the two. They're going to make Twig movies, and they're going to have ad placements. They're going to have all these different products that I was just talking about in their movies so that they can use their movies as advertisement. That's what they say. BEI owns and licenses intellectual property through contracts with movie studios and celebrities and structures licensing deals with third parties for Twig-related products. The company also maintains joint ventures with affiliates of Ice Cube and Kevin Smith to license and brand Twig and Twig-related products. B Studios focuses on producing Twig-themed films and capitalizing on product placement and licensing. A core focus of ILST remains acquiring and developing innovative businesses with high growth potential. What else do I have here? The news. So here's the news going back to February of last year. This is where they announced their first acquisition. That was Budding Equity. Then they announced that they were getting into the movie production. This is all the way back in February of last year. Well, here it is. This is September. This is the most current news we've got, by the way. September, they finally closed that deal, acquiring 20% stake in it. In the middle, the company announced a royalty agreement with National Tobacco for Clipper lighters, showcasing Ice Cube's intellectual property. So we don't have any current news here. That's as close as, well, we do actually.
April 10th? There's no news on April 10th?
Yes, that's the only.
Okay.
And it's very easy to just fly by these because it's a change in management. And again, truly, you should, when you're looking at a pink, that should be the most important piece of news right there. Who did you just bring on board? And I did jump into this because, again, I wanted to know, this is the only piece of news we got. Is there anything decent about it? Well, he has been the chief commercial officer of Thrive Twigs. He was also involved in the acquisition by Aurora Twigs. He has been in the twig sector for a long time. So he knows what he's doing. He's got some experience here. But I guess bringing him on board was a big deal. If I'm presuming the chart bounced on this day, hopefully it didn't fall. That wouldn't be a good token sign. So let's see what we've got here for relative volume. She's up. She was up today, about 20% maybe, jumping from 31 million to 38 million. Share structure for the company, Ikes. We're about 2 billion shares, which is 1/3 of all the shares they got, 6 billion. Insiders own about 140 million. We get all the rest, 1.75 billion shares. Ow! That's a ton of shares, folks. And yes, it screams the possibility of reverse stock split. You would also want to go jumping through their 8Ks, or if you want, just go to Google and just put in the company's name and put in the word split or consolidation vote. Those 3 words. If they've had a vote on a reverse split 10 months ago and approved it, you don't know about it right now, and they could do a reverse split when they get to 008, just before they hit the penny. You wake up and go, what the heck? I didn't see no news press. I didn't see no filing. Well, that's because it was voted on and approved at management's discretion, which means if he wants to tell you, he can. If he doesn't have to. There's nothing that says he has to. So you need to check that stuff. And this is screaming reverse split at some point in time. And most of these have been happening when they're getting near a penny. What do we got for financials for Elst? Oh, that's a good thing. We've got smoke, and where you got smoke, you got fire. This is our first revenues, folks, 2023. This is December. Did they continue on? Yes, and they're growing. Bouncing around here, chugging along, trying to find the gears. They're up there, and they're at $209,000 now. And look at this. Sweet. Not one penny. I don't know if it's royalties that they're getting or digital product or consultancy. Those things don't cost you any money whatsoever. So they're getting to keep every single penny that they make. Balance sheet for the company. They ain't got much in the bank. $16,000. Total assets, little over $500,000. Ow. Total liabilities about triple that, $1.7 million. So it's not a big deficit, but it's not positive. We're holding $1.2 million deficit in this company. And again, it's just force of habit to look at these bloody things. I normally do before I come to you. We don't have anything here since 2013. Not a single filing in over 10 years, except for their financials, which is something you can take notice of. They were doing 10Ks, 10Qs back then. Now they're doing disclosures. This is transparency. That's a CPA. Could have been a different company 10 years ago. I don't know. But everything's in good condition here. Nothing looks bad. So that's about it for Elst. Let's throw it over to Taylor.
Okay. Is this the one? Oh, no. Let me switch up. Is this it? No, it's not. There we go. I didn't switch it over yet. So I was just glancing over at the daily chart. So basically for the past year, we were just in this little consolidation area for literally the past year.
Time.
Huh? Yeah, from like 0003 to 0006, give or take. Just, but here's what happened recently. This has been like an enormous jump, obviously. So we went from 0005 all the way up to currently 0026. So do the math on that, and you can. I don't know what, I mean, this was like obviously a huge spike in volume. We had almost nothing here, and then all of a sudden.
And was that April 10th it started?
It was on the 10th of April.
Yeah, well, so bringing in a new CEO, plus you have this heat in the twig sector because of the DEA. And, this is all it takes. Just keep it. There's a lot of companies right now just posting news that they're applauding the DEA's decision. They don't have any news, but their stock is rising because people took notice of this twig company. And that's all
rising by a lot.
Well, that's because it's cheap. Wow. Wow, that was loud.
Sorry about that. I need to turn off that's some spy alert that I had on.
Yes, exactly what it sounded like, a weapon.
My bad. I'll turn it off here in a second when we switch back over.
That's the sort of alert I need when a stock runs. Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, anyway, we obviously have made huge moves. We jumped way up, pulled back, held steady. Just, oh my gosh. Let me just turn this off. Only once. Don't do it anymore. Okay, so, and then look how pretty this is. Just going straight up. All of the EMAs are lined up on the 4-hour.
Where's it at right now? I can't read that.
We're at 0027.
Almost 1,000%.
And it started off at like 0005. Oh my God. I'm just going to delete that. I deleted it. We're not, we won't hear it again.
Really, sorry about that, folks. That pierced my ears. I swear I just wet myself.
I forgot to turn those off. I didn't think SPY was going to be hitting 106 after hours, and I didn't. I wasn't thinking about it.
No more. I think that was worse than a black scratching board. Wow.
Let's see. Yeah. So I turned that off. It's at like 506.
So getting back to the chart, that's 1,000% run in what, 2 weeks?
Since April 10th. So yeah.
And And I told you,
about 3 weeks. Uh-huh.
every single twig company, whether they're at 0003 or $10, is going to be moving because there's a buyer for every single area. And none of them are going to get neglected. Even the dumb ones, even the ones that aren't worth buying, they're going to start moving too. So don't just jump into a company because it's moving. Do some due diligence. Matter of fact, on Twitter, on the Facebook pages, wherever you follow me, I posted a list of 180 twig companies by market cap. It'll give you a good place to start if you don't have any idea where to look.
God, and maybe if you're looking at this chart, pop on some fib extensions or something, because we have not seen this level since August of 2022. It's been down here for that long, just down here.
22, wow, because they had lots
August of 2022.
They had lots of news
the low line here,
and it never moved on that news. Now it moves.
Yeah. Oh, I also marked off your favorite level, 001. It's right here.
I don't think this stock is ever going to come back down there. I think that the DEA's decision is just too bloody close, and this thing is going to be catching the heat wave right now and just rising on that heat, and then the fire is going to come and it's going to be lit and launched.
Man, that 1 hour is just, that is beautiful. Love it.
Yeah, this has not got any competition. A company that's going to make movies on twigs and put their products in it. They used to do that in old TV. Used to actually have product placements, and that's how they made money. And then they decided just to have commercials and take you outside of the show. And, well, I tell you what, we're going to be doing it all to make money. All right. I like
the only issue I'm kind of seeing, if you follow like RSI and stuff like this, we are kind of in the overbought territory. We're entering the overbought territory. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but we could expect just another healthy pullback, and then that might be a time to get in if you're interested in getting in something like this. Just a side note.
Now, my side note, a lot of people are worried about overbought because over sounds like it's too much. I don't see it that way. The bigger the flames, the hotter the fire, the more rise you get from the heat. I want that thing in the 70s. I want it in the 80s. I look at charts. It'll be up there 2 days. Yes, it's going to come down sometime, but that doesn't mean it's going to come down as soon as it hit.
No, it doesn't. But it also increases short interest. So
yeah, I wasn't really saying that to you, but right. I see overbought as being a prime factor for getting into a stock.
Yeah. I'm just putting it out there. Just more information.
Yeah, you do your thing. Yeah. I'll do my thing. I got you. All right, let's move on to the next one. Tell me if you can see me.
I can.
All right, we are now looking at ticker EEE and F. This is 88 Energy. She too is on the pink. Seems like last week all we had was NASDAQ. This week all we got is pinks. She finished today at 0021. There's a few more digits there. I don't like that. She was up a little over 2%. She's only, that's not one of them. No, she's got no validated information over here. We don't have a validated transfer agent. Do a little study. See what a transfer agent does. You want one of those verified. She moves the stock that you buy. So you want that verified and then a verified profile. So, but that could have been this way for a long time. So what's this company do? Well, they tell us here 88 Energy is an Alaska-focused oil exploration and appraisal company across 440,000 net acres on the Alaskan Central North Slope. So what sort of information did I find here? Oh, bloody heck. All right. For some reason, I'm losing my highlights. I'm going to have to jump ahead of you to get my highlights back. All right. We did have a piece of news. There was no news over at the OTC about this. I had to go run out to Google just to see if anything was happening. And there is some things happening. On April 15th of this year, they reported Alaska says flow test demonstrates a peak flow rate of 50 barrels of oil per day of light oil. This is their second. I think 2 weeks ago before this, they had another oil well, light oil, start producing oil. So they've got two of them right now actually producing oil. And then this, I thought this was something you'd want to know, and this isn't over there. The company today announced, now let me see when this came out. This is April 23rd. So not too long ago. The company today announced an equity raise of 9 million Australian dollars, which is about 5 million pounds. I'm not quite sure what that comes down to dollars, but it's a lot of money, with the proceeds earmarked to fund the continuing development of its key projects. That sounds great, but where are they getting that money from? You guessed it. The company can issue up to 3.2 billion new shares. Folks, that's a lot of extra shares to be thrown in the freaking float. 3.2 billion shares. The money is also going to help support the completion of a 2D seismic program in the Awambo Basin in Nambia. African deals. I'm always leery about deals in Africa from pinks. You can't validate any information. There's nowhere to go in Africa to see if this land has been purchased, to get any information. Just makes me nervous. So now remember, we got what? 3.2 billion more shares that they say that they want to add. How many shares do they have right now? Oh man, am I going slow? Why am I going so slow? Look at that, folks. 15.8 billion shares. And they want to add another 3.2? That's going to give us 19 billion shares outstanding. Now, don't be misled. The word here says unlimited authorized share count. How many shares does this company have total? What's the ceiling? It's unlimited. Bull. You get this when you have a company from out of the country. Australia, Canada, they don't list here. You go over to their own countries, they'll tell you how many authorized shares they have. But here they don't tell us. It says unlimited. And though we do have 15 billion, 16 billion on the market already, it looks like it's going to go to 19 billion. It sounds like they have an unlimited amount of shares to put out there. They don't. They have a limit. But does it matter? I mean, 19 billion shares, you are getting a thin slice, an atom thin slice of value in this company. Speaking of value in the company, what do we got going on here? Well, we got nothing coming in on the annuals, nothing coming in on the quarterlies. But in saying that, these are old. That's 2021. Where's 2022, 2023, 2024? Nothing here. I did jump over to, I don't think I still have it up here. I did look at Yahoo. Yahoo showed the same thing, but they did show empty spots for 2023. Bing, 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 bing. So they've got nothing coming in. And when we look at their disclosures, I do want to look at that. Let me see here. There, I consider that a serious problem. These are their annual reports or financials. 2022, August is their last one. There's nothing down here. I went over to Yahoo to see if there was filed over there. No. How are they a pink and not with any financials? They should be on the expert market. I'm telling you, folks, this looks dirty to me. I don't get it. They've got no validated information. They've got no financials, and somehow they're on the market. I don't get it. That just doesn't work that way. What was the relative volume around this company today? Way down. She dropped from 22 million down to 4.4 million. Share structure we looked at. I don't believe there was any news, as I said, 2022. So we've got nothing here. Now understand the OTC market requires that certain information be given to them. That is what it's here for. It's not just a website with information like Bazinga or Seeking Alpha. This is a legitimate site. OTC Markets is a ticker on the OTC. You can invest in this company if you want, and this is their business. And they house all this information. Well, the companies themselves can put a lot more information here. They can put as much as they want. They can put videos in here. Over here, they've got a spot for them to put videos and all sorts of extra information right there. So you can find companies that want to be transparent. They'll just start throwing information in over here. You should just walk around this site sometimes and see what the heck they got. There's a lot of information they have here that is not on any other site. All right, so that covers EENF right now. She's about ready to do a big public offering so that they can get 5 more $5 million more dollars or $6 million, whatever it comes out to, so they can keep working on their projects that they're not making any money on, that they're passing on deficit to us. Did we look at that? No, we did not. Let's take a look at that balance sheet. That's important. Money in the bank, they got 23.5 million, 100 million total assets. Total liabilities is way down there. I'll give them that. So we've got $101 million. This is the only good thing I really like about this company. They did say that they're starting to produce oil. It's not a lot of oil, but they're producing oil. They got a lot of stockholder equity here. Maybe this comes from the assets that they own, not anything that they're producing, and they don't have any real liabilities. Outside of that, though, I see red flags simply because I see no financials. That is a big, big thing. You've always got to have financials. Where are they? Why aren't they here? All right, I'm going to turn this over to Taylor now.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me share the tab. Okay. So we looked at this on March 21st. So I'm glad I leave these dates on here. So that was this day. That's why that's pointed out. So
I thought it sounded vaguely familiar.
yeah, so it's good that we can look at this again because I've already marked these levels were already marked off. I didn't even have to do that. So I had this as old resistance, new support, because this is what we were looking at, and then this was like another resistance here, and that was about 004. The next level that I liked was 005, and you can see we tried to get above that, did not work, but we still maintained this support here. But I'm pretty sure I would have said, hey, if we go below 0035, it's over, and that's exactly what happened.
That sounds like something Taylor would say.
Yeah, like watch these levels. If it goes below
And
this,
that's
maybe
why we
pick it
draw
up
those
here.
levels. That's the whole point. That's the
Yeah,
point.
that's why I draw these out. I'm glad I kept it, and I'm glad I,
Yeah.
do this with the date
Yeah.
so we can see what we looked at. So I'm not. I'll admit I wasn't paying attention to every single thing you said. Was there bad news on the 15th of this month?
The
Or not
15th.
bad news, but news that someone didn't like.
Well, we only had two pieces of news, and they weren't even put out on the OTC. I had to go digging them. Yes, the April 15th was when they said we found our second oil well that is producing light oil. We're getting 50 barrels a day, which I'm making fun of. So if the stock fell, that's probably why. 50 barrels a day is like being paid $1 a day for work. It's not worth your efforts.
Yeah, it's interesting because it came right down to that, just about at that 0035 level. The next day it opened a little higher, but we just came right back down. So we're getting lower lows like crazy. It looks like it might be trying to level off here, but I mean we're so far below all of these EMAs here, and they're exactly the opposite.
I'm presuming that's a 52-week low at least. It looks like an all-time low.
Yeah, it at least for the foreseeable past.
Yeah, 3 to 5
except
years.
for when it's inception. But so we did have a weird split, 77 for 76, but that was back in August of 2023.
Well, I'm just saying, if she's at an all-time low, that becomes a unique stock that people are going to look at. There are shoppers that are shopping stocks that hit 3-year lows, 1-year lows, all-time lows, and they go and do all the fundamentals. Now, the fundamentals suck on this because we can't see them. They've got nothing. It's bad enough they don't have disclosure. They have nothing. So I don't think this is going to actually rebound. I can't see it coming back off of an all-time low. There's no value. So shoppers won't come buying it up real cheap because, oh, this is a bargain. I don't think it's a bargain.
Yeah, just because something's at an all-time low doesn't mean that it can't be another all-time low next week and then another all-time low. So that doesn't mean, oh, that's the lowest it's going to go. It just happens to be, I mean, that happened May 1st. That yesterday was.
There's a reason they don't put a 0 on the chart because it can just keep falling.
It could fall more, yeah. Right now we're just we did level off a little bit. We're not having these giant red candles anymore, but that doesn't mean that it can't do another leg down.
I wouldn't watch this chart. I wouldn't watch this company. If you're invested into it, I'm sorry. That's all I can say. But there's nothing sparking on this as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't remember who asked me to look at this. Can you see it? I got to get a thumbs up here. You got to tell me, Taylor.
Which one?
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, because I don't know. Sometimes I'm blocked off and I don't hit the button, and I don't have my other computer to see it. So I have to ask you. So rather than ask, you can just say,
Are you talking about BEGI, the next one?
yeah, because it goes,
MBS asked for it.
okay, I wasn't asking who asked for it. I was just saying, can you see me? Because
yes, I can see it. Yes,
okay.
yes.
Okie dokie. Sorry, folks. She and I, we're not married, but you'd think we were. All right, we're looking at ticker BEGI, Black Star Enterprise. You like
we
that,
might as well be.
I have never heard of this stock. I've seen the ticker. I've actually seen the ticker because I look at the scans a lot, but I've never actually looked into the stock. She is also on the pink. Bloody heck. She has got her validated information. Woohoo! She was up today, almost 31%. That's saying something. And she finished today at 0034. Well, we got a lot of cheap stocks today. So this is a company here in the USA based out of Colorado. They tell us that Black Star Enterprise is a publicly traded merchant banking firm facilitating joint venture capital to early stage venue companies. So they're giving money out to companies who want to do joint ventures with other companies, not with them. As Black Star focuses its merchant banking efforts on blockchain technology, Black Star plans to gain access to the peer-to-peer digital securities internet trading arena through the Black Star's digital trading platform. Now, that's really not what anything is about. They've got plans. They talked about a few things they want to do on the blockchain, but this is the news. We have two pieces of news, actually. If I jump in here, is this the old stuff? And there's the new stuff. We got two pieces of news. They announced back in March 22nd they were going to receive, they hadn't received it yet, a patent. Today, the news tells us they received it, and it's very unique. This could help traders forever down the road. Black Star received its blockchain corporate government patent from the United States Patent and Trademark Office, titled System and Method for Preparing for a SEC Financial Statement Audit by Recording Corporate Government Information on an Immutable Blockchain. Nice title, pretty much tells you everything it's about. The patented technology, which generally relates to recording corporate governance information on a blockchain, helps with the organization of public and private companies preparing for financial audit and is called corporate governance on blockchain. Now, they've got an interesting way that they want to launch this. Black Star's CEO feels that when first developed, this audit platform could be a white label product, meaning it could be resold by other people to other organizations. So it starts getting this network sales effect for organizations with government contracts, individuals, new corporations, and government employers. What this is it's going to put a lot of the information that is in computers and hidden away and has to be dug up and forecasted, put out there, broadcasted for everyone to see, now to be put on the blockchain where everybody can see it any time of day, always there. And then when you go to fill out forms, it's just like downloadable. It's there, and it's going to make our financial statements a heck of a lot easier to be done. And we're probably going to get access to these blockchain financials through the system. This could change the way companies do their financials. It could change completely. So that's the big news around the company right now, as far as I've been able to notice. What was the relative volume around this news? I've noticed we did a video on patents. I looked at 11 patents, and out of 11 pieces of news, new patents coming out, 7 of them took serious gains. What's serious? Well, up to 100%, anywhere up to there, 20, 30, 40%, 7 out of 11. Here's another one. Patent news is hot. So we jumped from 13 million to 37 million, almost 3 times the regular volume. Share structure, lots of shares. We got 1.7 billion. Insiders got 200 million. We got 1.5 billion in the float. Again, check out if you're going to get into this for a long hold. You think this could be something? Go through all the 8Ks or 6Ks or whatever the heck they've got. Go through their financials, do a Google search, see if they voted on a split and approved it. You don't want to get caught in those, folks. It'll turn your good buy into a terrible buy. You paid 0003 for it, and then they do a 1 in 200. Now you've paid $6 a share, and it falls down to $2. Now you've got a big gap. Now you're holding a big bag, and you don't have a lot of shares as it is. Market cap for the company is way down there at 4.5 million. Financials, nothing annually, nothing quarterly. Wow, we got a lot of empty spaces here. They got 33,000 in the bank. No assets otherwise, long or short. Liabilities, we've got 1.6 million. So again, we're not holding a lot, but it is deficit. Any deficit is bad. We're holding $1.2 million in deficit. And if it makes you feel any better, all that deficit is being spread out amongst a lot of shares. So you're only holding a little bit of deficit, if that makes you feel any better. Disclosures, just out of force of habit. Last 8K. Regulatory press release. Scroll down to see what the press release is. Corporate governance for the blockchain patent. So that's really all we got over here. Last thing to look at for BEGI is that 30% jump on the chart. That's your cue, Taylor.
I'm here. Hold on. Let's see.
I would think if you were trading all day, you would be like,
I'm still looking at stuff. So
you're trading after market. That's what you're doing.
maybe I'm just checking on all of my positions.
You can't blame her. It's tough to quit. You know, I used to hate Mondays. You know, everybody hates Mondays. Then you start trading and it's like, God, does Saturday have to come every week? Come on, Monday.
I took a break for so long and now I'm like, oh yeah, I missed all this. Okay, so anyway, from April of last year up until October, nothing was going on. And we were in this really tight range of like 0002 to 0004. And then the end of October, my gosh, we just ran. This is the daily chart, by the way. Ran all the way up to like 0.012 cents, and then
0.012, and she started off at 0003.
Yeah.
6, 7. You're looking at 700% roughly run right there.
Pretty wild. And this
no, I'm sorry. That's 1,000 plus another. No, you're looking at 1,300% run. Oh God. Why didn't I talk about that stock?
Yeah, so you know, we did come back down here and we went under the 200, which is okay. I marked this off as like a support level. Looks like it's around the 0011. So that's that 001 area you like. It didn't go below that. That's great news. And now it looks like we're starting to change direction and curl back up after this.
Yeah, I like that. That's looking like it's ready to do another one of its last surges.
Yeah, look at all these trying to cross and coming up. This is the 4 hour now.
The oscillators look great on the bottom. It looks like the waves coming up on the shore. Big tsunami about ready to hit. I'm liking that.
Yeah.
This is one you got to put on your watch list, folks. If you're looking for stocks that are running in the morning, get up early. This is a pink. Don't worry, you can sleep in late. You can't trade it until 9:30.
Yeah, a lot of these, some of these did, you know, we did have a lot of pops in the pre-market hours. So like this one and then today's, but you know, it did continue to run. So let's look at the 15-minute, like here's the 15-minute. We ran all day today.
Yes, sir.
Kept climbing. And when we had these nice healthy pullbacks right here to the 21 and then continue to run. That looks real nice.
Yeah, that big bar with that big dip. That wick. Yep, that's the one I look for as a token signal. When she drops a wick below the big bar, the solid bar stays above the SMA, shoots a wick, and this works up or down. shoots a wick really far and then comes right back to where she started, that to me is a boomerang. Watch for it to bounce now. Watch for it to go. It was just a pogo stick, like a cat pouncing. Had to get down low if I'm going to jump up higher. Perfect.
Yeah, and I mean those healthy pullbacks, they're healthy pullbacks, just because I mean you are going to have people selling when this gets high, because I mean that's what you're supposed to do. You sell on the way up. You don't wait until, oh, it's going to keep going. Well,
That's
maybe it
right.
will, but you need to sell on the way up so you can secure some of those profits. So that's
And then
probably
watch for
what people were doing, profit taking here.
and then watch for the ultimate dip. You know a dip is going to come. And when you see something, it is important not to just buy on the dip, because you never know if a news press just came out, some bad news, and you just bought twice as many shares at a great price and found out the company filed for bankruptcy. No, it's falling for a reason. So don't just do it spontaneously, but be aware of it. Set yourself up and be ready after you sell. Look for that imminent dip, especially if you see a stock has a habit of doing it. That's looking good. That's bouncing right
This
up
is
there.
really the textbook perfect for a day trader on the 5 minute. Look at this. 1, 2, 3.
Right on that 50, nicely. So I'd be watching for the next bounce down to the 50.
Higher lows.
Yeah,
Looks good.
I wouldn't
Like
buy
this
it right now. I'd wait I know you see it climb, you say, I'm missing it. Patience.
Yeah, don't FOMO into this stuff.
And it'll probably come back down to the 50, and that would be your point of buy after she starts to lift. Just because she hit it, if she's still pushing down, don't buy. Wait till she's going in the direction you want. Minimize your risk.
Okay.
I like that one. All right, you ready for the next one?
Yep.
Me too. We are looking at, yes, we are, KSCP, a lot like AITX. Both of them are security robot companies. This is Nightscope Inc. She is on the NASDAQ. How about that? A hot penny stock on the major exchange. Finished the day just a little over 47 cents, and she was up about 8.5% today. Now, as I said, this company is into robots. Not just robots. They also have these call centers, call boxes, emergency lights. And they've also got one new item that they're working on. No, that's not it. It is right. Not there. There it is. It's his big buddy there. And basically what this is an all-terrain robot. The ones they've got over there, they couldn't go down a dirt road or up a hill in grass or anything like that. They'd topple down the hill. So they got these now, which is a perfect fit for what they're doing. So you've got all of these, and they're able to work inside, outside, 24 hours a day. They've worked in Texas during the hot summers. They've worked in Minnesota during the cold winters. We're talking about outside. They have the ability to see 360 around them. They're not looking in one direction. So they're viewing everything at once. And this is being sent to whoever, wherever, so that you're viewing everything at once. It's being recorded. And of course, it's in connection with all the other things that they're working with. So you have a security tight area with all of their equipment. And they're quite friendly. I mean, they volunteer to have their pictures taken. You think I'm kidding. What's it say here? We love humans, and the humans apparently love us back. We get our pictures taken a lot, which sometimes make us blush, but we never hesitate to take a moment for a robot selfie. Yeah. So these are probably going to become ubiquitous. I think your cities, your security places, your malls, banks, I think they're all going to have things like this, watching everywhere, because people, even as alert as we are, we can't do it as well as they do. We're not as, we can't, the bottom line is it can be pitch black, and they've got technology that can see a human in the pitch black. Infrared camera. We don't have infrared. We can't see that. They're going to be able to do a much better job at a much better price, and you don't have to worry about sick days or anything like that. So let's see what I've got to share with you here. Is the news the only thing? No. We had a filing. On April 24th, Nightscope received a letter of delisting from the NASDAQ because they did not meet up with the bid price requirement of $1. Fall under $1 too long. You can go under $1, but you can't stay under for too long on the major exchanges. If you do, Ultimately, they'll kick you off down to the OTC, but they'll initially give you a warning. You'll get 6 months to get that price up over $1, but it's not up to the company. It's really up to us. We got to bid it up over $1, and close for 10 days straight. Then they're out of hot water. If we fail to do that, they've got one of two choices. Either do a reverse split and get the price up, and you want to get it up way up over $1 so don't fall back up underneath, or just let yourself fall down to the OTC. Either way, we're not happy. So we need to bid the price up. That's what needs to happen. They tell us here the company was already given that 6 months, and they did not regain their compliance by April 23rd, which was the deadline. Now, this is the interesting part here. They have up until May 1st to file an appeal. They say they're going to file an appeal. May 1st was yesterday. If they had filed appeal, and we don't have a filing here, I don't see any filing here that says they made an appeal. They would have halted any action against them for at least 6 weeks, maybe even longer. Nothing will happen until you have your hearing. Well, they didn't file. So something's got to happen here. Are we going down to the OTC, or is there going to be a reverse stock split? Well, let's see. How many shares do we have over here? 93 million. We're at 57 cents. They could do a 1 and 2, right? And that would get us up over $1, but you're still too close to the edge. You want some leeway here. So how high are we going to go? $3? We're going to do I don't know, a 1 and 6. That could happen, folks. If we don't get this price up over $1, and I don't think we have any more time. I think time's up. And I haven't seen a filing, haven't seen a press release, so I'm making a lot of presumptions right now, but I think it's a safe presumption. What was the relative volume around the company? She was up today, jumping from 1.7 to 2.7. Share structure, we already looked at, 93 million with a market cap of 40 million. Are they making money? Well, they got lots of news. They're making lots of deals, selling a lot of these robots, just like AITX is. Well, we have about 12.7 million in the bank. We have, whoa, what's going on? Oh, that's annual. Let me get this down to quarterly. All right, money in the bank, 3 million. Well, this doesn't look right. What's going on here? 7.3 operating, 6.3 net income. What the heck am I on? Income statement, balance sheet. My bad. So there we go. 2.3 million in the bank, 22 million assets, total liabilities 15. And there we go again. New math. We should have had about 7 million positive stockholder equity here. Total assets of 22 and liabilities 15. Well, somewhere in these big numbers, something got shuffled in here, and we're down at almost $27 million deficit that we're holding in this company with 93 million shares. And if they do a reverse split, your shares are going to dwindle. You're going to have less of them, which means each share has a bigger hold of deficit. Not a great situation to be in here. And a little redundancy here. There's your 10K. The A on the end is supposed to mean amended. Something was wrong. This is for their annual. Came out 12/31. They just brought this out on the last day, basically, of April. You want to know what's going on with the company? You want to do a deep dive. There is a lot of information out there, but there's no reason to go running around everywhere. Just dive into the 10K. It's not just numbers. There's lots of writing, and they boldly headline what each category is about. And the last thing we want to take a look at is that news. Now, I have only gone back here to April 15th. There's lots of news. They're selling, a couple robots here, a couple robots there. It's not like they're creating armies or anything, but they're doing business. In March 15th, Nightscope 2023 estimated revenues increased 128% to 12.8 million. They have won 18 contracts. That was in April for 1 million. Delivers on 9 new deployments and signs 2 new contracts. That's also April. Deploys 37 emergency communication devices at Rio Hondo College. Ascendient Capital maintains a buy rating for Nightscope. Raises per share price target to $4.25. There's our current price. That's the price target. Now, just so you know, analysts are actually unbiased. They are working for the company, but in a position where they don't get paid by the company in a way that they can make any unbiased decisions. And they're not pulling numbers out of the air. They're doing research. They're doing due diligence. They're looking at a lot of factors. And they come up with the number of what this company is worth. That's the price, $4.25, which is virtually 900% up. And we're under a buck, about ready to do a reverse split or get kicked off the market. It just doesn't make sense. We're not bidding the stocks up. Maybe that's because there's not enough investors. Maybe it's because we don't have enough money. I don't know what the problem is. So you go back into their news, you'll see they're doing a lot of deals like that. Now, did we did not look at the financials. I knew there was something I was missing here. You can see the financials have been growing. They're making more money. They kicked up from 3 million to 5 million to 12 million in 2023. That's a lot of extra business. But they have yet to make a profit. Not one penny profit. You wonder how you stay in business for 4 years not making a profit. Public offerings, I don't know. Over the last year, they've been growing. I mean, trying to anyways. They went from 2.3 million up to 3.3. And the last quarter in December of 2023, we fell back down to 3 million even. And we're losing money. Darn it. September, we actually made $50,000. Woohoo! Up a 3.3 million. And now we're losing money. A lot of money. 1.8 million. That ain't good. Balance sheet, we did go through that already. I got all confused there. I think that's because I came in not the normal way. So there you go, folks. That's what you got going on for the company. She's doing business. She's making money. She got a lot of stockholder deficit. She's not making a profit. She is doing business. I mean, it's growing. You can see that. And they say the price should be $4.25. Now, I have a hard time seeing that, but then I haven't looked at all the factors. This isn't a deep dive. So maybe reading that, a lot of times when you go inside that news press, they'll actually take you to a link where that where the actual report is. You might actually be able to find a link there. There it is. Review the research report right there. And they'll give you all the information. You want to do due diligence, right there's your ticket, folks. Just jump on into that right there. Ta-da! They'll give you lots of information. All right, Taylor. Hello, Taylor.
Hello, right here. Okay, so we've looked at this before back in November. I pointed this out here. Really hasn't moved much since. So I already had marked off these levels. 52-week high is still 224, which was up here. That was in July. 52-week low is 36 cents, and that was back here last May. This is that $1 area because I remember you saying that it needs to be above $1. We never did come even close to that. The highest we got was like 82 cents.
Wow.
And that was in early December. Now we almost hit 52-week low like in beginning of March. Now we're kind of, in this middle area. Looks like after hours, we went down to like 44 cents. Let's go down to the 4-hour chart, see what we're looking at. Don't love it.
No, I mean, it looks like a tease. It looks like it's thinking about it, but that 200 tells me a different story. She's been on a steady decline, and the price is just following it. Top and bottom, it's just following
yeah,
it.
I mean, we tried to come above it a few times, but it just cannot hold.
It's
and
not
look
even
at this.
tugging the 200 up. It got above it, but it didn't make a change on the 200.
Right, but it didn't, change direction. Like you can see it popped up here, here, here,
Yeah.
here, and we're still below. I mean, it's coming up above it, but we're not holding. So let's look.
I mean, a day trader could make money on it
Oh
because it is.
yeah. I'm not saying that. I look
But,
at this
but
on the
for a
1 hour.
long-term hold, I don't see an entry yet.
I mean, this is like almost like basically resistance here. I I don't love it, and it's not really, I mean, yeah, day trading, let's see, 15. Um, I mean, we went, this was all pre-market, by the way. So, but it is on the Nasdaq, but all this
Right.
increase was pre-market. We kind of went sideways all day, and then this is after hours. It just dropped. I'm not really sure. There was an earnings not too long ago. Um, they might have said something, but we, it would earnings not so good. Revenue a little bit. It was okay. It
I really don't like it. I mean, as a day trader, that wouldn't be a stock I'd choose. There's a lot better ones to be looking at. And if you're
well,
looking to average down, well, she's really going sideways, but she's
yeah.
doing it with a downhill drip. So I would just wait until she shows signs of actually wanting to climb, and I'd wait and buy on the climb. I wouldn't buy on the fall because she hasn't done falling yet.
If you look at most of this activity, most of the day-to-day activity, with a couple of exceptions, pretty flat during the day, and the movement is happening either after hours or pre-market. Like, look at
Yep.
this. This was pre-market. This was all pre-market here. This is
Yep.
after hours drop. So,
Real
um,
early pre-market.
yeah, very early, like 3 a.m. Central, so 4 a.m., like right when
Too
things had went.
early for me. I ain't up that early.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
this happened again, 3 a.m. Central Time, and here's
so if
another
it's a
one.
thumbs up or a thumbs down, I'm putting a thumbs down on this one. You don't need to clutter your watch list with this one.
Yeah, not a
All
big
right, we're
fan.
at
Okay.
5:30 here. Let's jump into the last two we got. We have SGBX and Bior. This is SGBX. I just posted news on her today and the other day, as a matter of fact. This is Safe and Green Holdings Corp. She too is on the NASDAQ. Finished today at $2.93. Had a real good day today. The news was obviously taken well. She jumped up 33%. So, what does this company do? Safe Green Holdings designs and modifies code engineered cargo shipping containers and purpose built modules for commercial, industrial, and residential building construction in the United States. You know what we're talking about. We're talking about the shipping containers. You see them put on the boats and they're going across the ocean that they pick up, the ones they put on the back of semi trucks. We're talking about those. They're using these to make homes. They're using these to make offices, which is nothing new. During COVID, we had a bunch of these places being used for COVID testing. Matter of fact, this is what you're thinking of in your mind, and you're going, that's not an exciting company. Who's going to, how much business can you do with that? Well, the fact of the matter is that's just a basic start, folks. They're using these for all sorts of different things. They're building blocks. You can take these and put them together in all sorts of different ways and then start removing walls because they're doubled, right? You got a wall on each side. You start removing walls and you create entire complexes, apartment complexes, malls, all sorts of crazy stuff by building with these cargo containers. Not exactly this right there, right? It's a wee bit more than that. Well, the company has had news today. They had, let's see, there's two pieces of news. One that came out on the 30th. Safe and Green Holdings announces a reverse stock split of the company. They did a 1-20 reverse stock split.
Yep, that was today.
Yeah. She was way down there, I think, at roughly 16 cents or something like that. And she was flat. Now, it looks real flat when you look at the chart because with the big bounce, we do get a green bar today. They haven't had time to adjust the chart.
Oh
But
no, it looks like it's been adjusted already
woo, I just looked at it today and it was a huge one. And the
on
six,
Trading View anyway.
what a shame. Yeah, it was a
Yeah, I know.
huge bar, way up over 4 something. Let's see. The other piece of news that came out today, Safe and Green Holdings announces collaboration and sales of modular units to Britain Inc. Now, there was something, I've got a piece of news here. All right, this is Britain Inc. Britain Inc. does, now I did read the news press, and it sounds like they're not just selling units to them. It sounds like they've made a deal with them because what this company does is they advertise, get back. They advertise unique products and they advertise them in unique ways so that the advertisements are catching attention. And I noticed one of their products right there. I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but that is a cargo thing right there. But this company brands your product so that other people know about it. Now, they say that in the news they bought. Let me see if I actually had that piece of news opened up. I don't think I did. No. And then down here in April, I haven't gone back too far. The company announces it entered into agreement to produce 4 modular electrical distribution centers as part of a multi-unit order for clients serving the big box retailer market. And again, go back through the news and you'll see they've had lots of deals like this. These are pretty quick to build, folks, but they're not just building these little, trailer home park sort of things. Some of these are big, wide open facilities that have lots of office spaces in them. It's pretty interesting. I would have never thought they could do it. Looking at the relative volume for the company today, well, I don't know why they did that. I went and looked. Yeah, the stock's trading every single day. Yes, you did have a stock split today. So does that affect the volume? I guess so. We don't get an average. We don't get an average here, so I don't really know what it is. But today they did 16 million shares. Share structure. Ooh. Now, normally this is all left blank for a few days after a reverse stock split. It just takes time for the transition, like T+2. It takes a few days. But I'm going to presume they did not start off with 820,000 shares before the stock split. So I've got to guess that is their new share count. And being on the NASDAQ, they are well into the danger zone again. They are out of compliance with the NASDAQ. You cannot have a float any less than 1 million shares. And since the float can't be any higher than the outstanding share count, we're less than 1 million shares. So what I would expect is a public offering. That's an easy fix. Just put more shares on the market. First thing you do is you take all of our shares. Now you make them all worth more, but we paid more. So it really doesn't work out to your benefit if you're holding a bag. It just puts the spread bigger on your loss. And then they're going to put more shares on the market, taking shareholder value away from the few shares that you have left. It's like insult on top of injury. It just isn't fair. And that's the kind of market we're in right now. Don't know what the market cap is right now. I could kind of figure it out. Just round this off to 1 million. You're at 2.9 million. It's going to be a little less than that, maybe 2.5 million. Financials, up and down. We started off 4 years ago. This only goes to 2022. I noticed that because we're at 2019, going from 3 million up to 38 million. That was during COVID. They were probably selling a whole bunch of those COVID units to every single state. Maybe every city. Who the heck knows? So they were doing real good during COVID and then fell down to 24 million at the end of 2022. I don't know why we don't have a 2023 here. Do we see? It's right there. It was just filed March. So why isn't it caught up over there? Oh, no. Oh, we're in trouble here. That's an NT 10K, folks. NT 10K. 10K is your annual report. NT says not. That's the abbreviation to tell you they are not filing their 10K on time. They're going to be late. Well, this filing buys them 15 days of grace. So they had 15 days, so they should have had this out halfway through April. Where's our 10K? They're late. They are now out of compliance for that as well. That's not good. That's a bad thing as well. So we've got that to consider. But back to what we were looking at, what they did have going on. Not a lot of money in the bank, about $500,000. This is as of 2022, which is really old. A lot of times past. 26 million assets, 11 million in liabilities. At that point in time, we had almost 15 million in positive stockholder equity. Were there any other? I do it out of habit. I just jump over here because this is the blood. When you're looking at stocks, folks, news presses are great, but this is in concrete. As far as I'm concerned, news presses are in sand. That stuff can shift around. It can change. But this stuff, that's hardcore, man. So this is where I really do a lot of my focusing. All right, let's take a look at ticker SGBX in the charts now, Taylor.
Okay. There we go. Okay, so it's going to be hard to read this because they've already adjusted this.
That's
So,
ugly now. It looks
uh,
so pretty. Mine look pretty.
yeah, I know. Well, I guess TradingView decides to do that because it looks like in March it was 982. That's not correct. So the stock split was today, like you said, 1 for 20, and this is not easy to read because of what was going on. But we did have an increase in volume, so like this is what it's looking like, but none of these numbers are going to be accurate because of what happened. So we're just going to have to move from here to here. This is basically all
Well,
of the accurate information we
do this.
have.
Don't use the numbers, just use your SMAs and the momentum. How that, because that everything was evenly multiplied. So the
Yeah,
trend,
yeah.
the way it looks is still the same, but the numbers
Well,
are all screwed up.
all right. Well, since March, we got, the high of this 983 and then a lower high and then another lower high. And you can see pretty easily what the trend is.
Yeah, it's
Not
hard to
so good.
tell where she fell. You see a
Yeah.
jump after the split, and then you see how far down she came, and it's just difficult to read
It
if
is.
they're not going to show you the bar.
Yeah. So here's the 1 hour. So whatever was going on April 25th, I guess maybe they announced something that caused it to jump, but then we just fell. Stock split made it jump again. Now we're just kind of like flagging out a little bit. So it's
Yeah.
very hard to tell what it's gonna do. I mean, this looks more bullish to me, this 1 hour chart, but this was just, from today, and then that news came out.
Yeah,
It could very well do what it did last time, which was just fall right
it
immediately
doesn't
after.
look like it has bullish tendencies. I see the bull
Right
flag
here it does, yeah.
being underneath the 200. That's the factor here, because that is on a downhill slope. It's got a lot of pressure pushing down. Although the other SMAs coming up underneath it all
Yeah,
look strong. So
yeah.
there's going to be some conflict right there right now. So this is
Mhm.
worthy of putting on your watch list for a bounce. We're not talking about a long-term run here, but she could get another good
Mhm.
bounce out of this.
The issue is gonna be volume, I think, because of what happened over here. We could just look at this trend when we had this huge increase in volume compared to what was going on before, and then the volume dropped off and so did the stock. Now, see if this volume continues to drop. It's hard to say because this has only happened 1 day. So if this volume continues to just,
Yeah,
stay
it doesn't
really
look like
low, we
this
could
has
just
a
have
habit.
another drop like we did last time.
It doesn't look like it wants to take volume to the next day. You get one day of volume and that's it. and
Yeah.
then a
Yeah, and that's what
popcorn.
happened over here as well, because the black is during the trading day.
Yep.
This is pre-market, this is after hours. So, you can't really, yeah, after hours volume is always going to be low. I mean, unless there's something going on, obviously, but
All right, we're
yeah,
going to move
so
on to that last stock now. We're at
okay, let's move on.
538. We've got the last one here. This came in just before the bell. Where am I at, folks? There I is. This is Bior. I think it's French. Bior Therapeutics, another NASDAQ stock under $1. She's at 71 cents. She had 11% jump today. So let's see what we got here. I didn't have a chance to go over my information to see what we had. Doop-de-doop. Okay, gotcha. Biora is a biotech company that develops therapies to improve patients' lives, and they've got a special way of doing this. The company creates innovative smart pills designed for targeted drug delivery to the GI tract and systemic needle-free delivery biotherapeutics. What did he just say? This is what I said. Biotherapeutics is a clinical stage biotech company developing oral biotherapeutics that could enable new treatment approaches in the delivery of therapeutics. They've got two different types of delivery systems. They have the NaviCap targeted oral delivery platform. This is for the disease of gastrointestinal tract, designed to improve outcomes for patients with inflammatory bowel disease, IBD. The other one is BioJet, designed to replace injections with needle-free oral delivery of large molecules for better management of chronic diseases. So they've got ways to take pills for gastric indigestion, and whatever you're taking needle injections for. Now, what are we talking about? I don't know exactly, but these are the drugs that they are working with that are in the pipeline. They are just now approaching clinical on some of these nav caps. The biojets are still back here at preclinical, but they've got quite a few of them here, and we don't have time to dive into all of them. But they are all built around the new delivery systems. You've got the drug already, but now we're going to make this drug be able to be used this way instead. Let's see what else I've got here. Geez, please don't take away all my stuff. All right, we've got a couple of filings here. We do. First, they've got a vote coming up on June 5th. I always jump into these voters to see what they're voting on. I want a heads up on a reverse split. No reverse split here. They do want to increase the authorized share count, but that's as bad as it gets. Another one of the filings was 32G or 32D, which is a new owner. You had Ethereum Opportunities buy 13.5 million shares, which gave them 35% of the company. I don't know what this entails. I don't know how important that is. I don't even know if this is a change of operations, or not operations, change of control. It may be. I don't know who owns the most, so that may be something to look into. And the last one I've got here. Where did I get this one? This is from a Form 8K. Entry into material definitive agreement. Always see that. Stop and read it. On March 31st, the company entered into a securities purchase agreement with a certain institutional accredited investor. An accredited investor is somebody that has over $200,000-$300,000 to invest, and they can invest privately with the company rather than having to go to the public market. He bought $6 million worth of shares at $1.10 a share. What's the price going for? 71 cents.
That was March 31st. Okay, that's important. Okay, cool.
So that tells you this big investor, you know darn well he didn't just throw his money down there because the chart looked good. No, he had a team doing research and due diligence to see what this company had to offer. And obviously he sees a gain above $1.10. That's where he bought his shares. Now, yes, he did get a bunch of warrants as well, but still, he's paying a good price for these shares, and he just bought 35% of the company. That's important. That says something. So I consider that a catalyst. Do believe that's all I had in information, except for the general information. So let's see what we have in relative volume. She's doing what she normally does. It's not very much for being on the NASDAQ. She did about 471,000 over the last 30 days, 423,000 today. Share structure for BR. Hey, that's a decent share structure. We got no complaints here. 30 million shares. Don't know what the float is. It could be 30 million, and I'd be happy. Anything under 100 million is really a decent float. Market cap, 19.5 million. Looking at the financials, is BR making any money? I wouldn't call that money. They were up and down all over the place. 162,000 doubled to 1.2 million, dropping 400% down to 400%. You know what I mean? To 300,000, down to 4,000. I don't care if she didn't pay anything for that. That's ridiculous. $4,000 quarterly. I bet it's zeros now. Yeah, look at that. 1422 zip zip. So they're not making any money right now. What's that balance sheet look like? It's because they're putting it all in the bank. You got 15.2 million in the bank, 31 million in assets. What? Oh my God. 132 million in liabilities. So we got 101 million in deficit. For a penny stock, folks, that's a lot of deficit to be holding. My goodness. Do believe we've already gone through all these. I actually found that this is an important one, the ARS. That's where I find good information. It's all right. You've always got to open it up with the PDF, at least on my computer. So there you go. That is BOR. Let's see what the chart looks like for BIOR.
Okay, couple of things. The beginning of 2023, we had a 1 for 25 reverse split, and it reacted very favorably to that. We went way above what the recent 52-week high. So it was in the $7 range. So since then, 52-week high is 670, and as you can tell, we have just gone downhill. One recent thing I noticed, that was what you were talking about, the March 31st. I'm going to move to regular candles for a second. Whoops. I don't know what I just did. So the whatever that news that did not people did not like that because it gapped down. So we closed at 109 and then opened at 80 cents. So and then continued to fall. So the 52-week low happened a few days after that, which is about 58 cents. Now we're up here at about 70 cents. So we did have a good, jump today. I think it went up how many percent? Let me say 11% today. So it looks like it might be trying to curl back up, but I'm not 100% sure. This is what the Heikenashis look like. See, we have this big drop from that was on April 1st. That was right after that announcement. So, and this is the 52-week low here on the 18th. And now we're kind of trying to curl back up. Let's look at the 4-hour.
God, 52-week low again. If a stock has value, well, we're holding 100 million in deficit. So, wow, this is surprising to see the stock looking like that because that looks good to me. That's looking tempting.
Yeah, so it does look like it's like trying to curl back up. So here's the 1-hour.
That's looking nice.
It looks a lot better there. Yeah, it is. Oh, I do that every time.
That's what I don't like that bar.
I know. I accidentally click that. Yeah. So we've come off that low, and we're slowly. But as you can see, all these major moves are happening during pre-market or after hours, like this.
Yes.
This pre-market here. But today, this was what happened today. I mean, we went up 11% or give or take. So 15-minute looks like this. So
to be honest, that looks ideal. I mean, that's
yeah, so we've got higher
credit.
highs going here. If you look at this, the lower time frames. So
I don't like the company's information. I wasn't excited reading any of that really, but the chart, I'm sorry, that chart is intriguing. That looks like the ideal chart I would do a video on.
Yeah, for the last week, we have been doing, we look at this higher highs, higher highs, higher highs, higher highs, higher highs. That's good. That's good. A lot of movement in pre-market and after hours though. So if you're wanting to, get some real action, that's when the time is pre-market or after hours, especially pre-market when first.
I've got to figure that the 35% deal, the $6 million investment at $1.10. I think that's the stimulator. I think you could see this because a lot of times you'll see a company that's being bought out at $5.50 and immediately the price just runs to $5.50. Well, this could run to $1.10 just because of a $6 million investment, and he bought all his at $1.10. So that could be a solid catalyst. And the way this chart looks, I wouldn't be surprised to see it get over that dollar.
Good, yeah.
And that's something we didn't look up. I didn't have time, or maybe I overlooked it. We didn't see if there was an 8K or a 6K stating the fact that the NASDAQ's warned this company that how long does it look like it's been under $1?
That's what I was looking for right now.
Doesn't look like very long.
Easier regular candles. So it was right before that big drop on April 1st. So March 28th. And because the market was closed on the 30th and the 31st was Easter. I
was going to say that's not too long because normally 6 months is what you get to be under $1. But here,
it wasn't very long at all. This was the very end of March, very last day, very last trading day of March.
That's over a month. That's over a month. And a lot of companies get a warning at 30 days, which is my point. I don't know. I don't know what's too long anymore. I don't.
Yeah, because that last one has been under $1 for a while, and it's still on there. I don't know.
Right. But I think this stock has potential. I think there's a possibility she could run up. And where's that 50-day SMA?
On the daily chart,
it's right there.
On the daily chart, it's at 93 cents.
Right. So all the rest of them are going to be even closer. Yeah, I think this has got a strong chance of hitting $1. I will put this on my watch list. This looks like it could be
The
close to
200 is up at 171, just so you
on
know.
the daily chart.
Daily chart,
Yeah.
yeah. 4
And
hour,
as a day
4 hours
trader,
much lower, 91 cents.
I don't use a daily chart as a day trader. I mean, it's a quick glance, but that's it. Because
I just
I'm
use it to look at trends and stuff, you know.
Yeah, but as a day trader, that doesn't show me how many times I could have got in and out in one day. That just
Right.
shows me what happened the whole day. And as a day trader, it has little value to me, except in trend. But, you know, as we just said, even a stock coming downhill can be played. You can make money on those bounces as it's going downhill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, lots of players do that. A stock is just volatile falling. Well, you know it's going to fall deeper, and then you know it's going to bounce. So those are great opportunities. You keep getting to buy cheaper and cheaper as you're making money. I do believe that covered every stock we had. We got through them all, and oh, look at this. Almost 2 hours. Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
I'm trying. Turn it off. There we go. Well, folks, if you hung around, I sure appreciate it. I mean, I had to break my interview down with IDKFF into 2 shows because, well, who wants to sit around for 2 freaking hours watching me? You can watch the Titanic or something else. Well, if you did manage to get through this whole show, I appreciate it. If you got to watch bits and pieces, great. If you watched me at all, thank you. I appreciate your time and showing up, no matter how long you stayed. And hopefully we shared some information with you folks that you can put to good use. I appreciate you bringing us stocks. I do a lot of work. It's nice of you to bring stuff to me. That saves me a lot of time. And thank you for being with me, Taylor. You saved me a lot of work too. I'm glad I don't have to do all the charting. Folks, we will see you next week. Same place, same time. Maybe if I talk faster or just don't talk about as much, we can get this done in an hour and a half and not 2 hours. But I do appreciate you. We'll see you then, folks. Take care.
Bye.